Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. And today we are going to discover how small businesses can win government contracts. And our special guest is Mick Mckeown. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Mick Mckeown. Mick, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Mick, welcome back, by the way, because we already had the one interview. And since then interview, so many people have been asking me, oh, even a small business, like my little business in
Mhm,
Atlanta, small business in Miami, and they can actually do business with government. And most of the small businesses ignore it altogether.
mhm,
And I invited you to back with us and share with us how we can help businesses all over US, especially in this economy. The biggest
mhm.
buyer is who?
The
Government.
government.
They are spending money which they don't even have. They are printing money every day, and they just had it $1.9 trillion. There's a one more $2 trillion going in the green thing very soon too, and we have no idea where it will come from. That's
Yep.
another topic, another story. However, today we are going to talk about how to discover how small businesses can win government contracts. So if you're watching this live, or does not matter who shared with you, stop everything what you're doing and lean forward, because this is
Mhm.
about your bank account. Okay, it's not about our bank account. So, Mick, here's your promise with us. We are going to give our best shot how we can help people in this economy right now, especially the small businesses.
Yeah. So I think that when you're looking at the government space, the first thing you want to realize is that the government does have a hurry up and wait mentality. So it is going to take a little bit of time to break in, whereas business to consumer and business to business sales might have a little bit more of a strict timeline and a natural occurrence. You never know what occurs in the government and what makes them go back and forth. But there's a couple of reasons why we want to focus on the government space long term for the health of our business. One, the government always pays on time. Two, the government always keeps your contract. And three, the check always clears. And if you have a client like that, that's something that's really going to make things, easier for your business in the long-term health and longevity of it, to say the least. Now, I know that a lot of people here are thinking to themselves like, "Oh, I'm a small business. I'm a solopreneur." There's opportunity there. You mentioned all the different amounts of money that are coming out of the government. A quick little history lesson was if we go all the way back to the 2000 election, right? Bush versus Gore. One of the things that he talked about was the importance of small businesses finding their place in the federal government space and the business to government space. And at that point, I could be a little bit wrong, but I think it was like 5 or 6% of every dollar the government spent had to go to a small business. And then after, if we look at what happened from that 2000 election to today, you had September 11th happen. Then we finally get back on our feet. And then the recession happened of 2008. And then President Trump comes in prior to the pandemic, the economy's soaring. And we finally get to a normal threshold where this money now is getting spent higher by small businesses. So right now, 23 to 25% of every dollar, so a quarter of every dollar, has to go to a small business. And small businesses aren't there to go after it. And there's multiple avenues that you can attack to be able to get this. And I think one of the things that we focus in on too is the federal space, but you can also do this in the state space and the local space. And if you think about it, if you're a small business, let's just say you're a small bookkeeping firm in Tallahassee, Florida, right?
Yeah.
You can be going after not only the state of Florida because you're sitting in Tallahassee, the state capital, but you can also be going after the various counties and that are looking for an outside bookkeeping service. Every small town is looking for someone to come in and help them out. And it might be something that, that you'll be doing that for 5, 7, 10 years, serving your community, but also making sure that you have a great client there as well, because every month they're going to pay, and what it is that they're looking for is a pretty basic service, and it was what you offer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you do it anyway already. You're not trying to reinvent something new, and you don't have to learn. And plus, once you have a government, city, state, county, or federal government, your client, that helps you to get other clients very quickly, because there's stability. Or this company will be there. They probably already gone through the government due diligence process to make sure they're up and up. If there's something wrong, they won't work with them anyway. Is that right?
Correct. And the other aspect of it too is that, what you want to do is kind of what we call building, past performance. And I think you'll be surprised of what these little agencies have in your hometown and how much money they have and how much help they need. It's pretty mind-boggling. Even like somebody who runs, a water authority or like your sewer authority, they're going to have tens to 20 millions of dollars to spend, and they need to just make sure that an outside person is making sure that that bookkeeping's straight, or they're going to need someone to, help send out mail for people to pay their bill on time. Like there's tons of things that the government needs help with, and they're looking for it. And I think that that's, one of the kind of things that people don't realize is that, oh, I don't want to be reactive to what the government wants from me. So in other words, people just sit and wait. Well, you can also be proactive. Less than 50% of all government expenditures come through the contract or the RFP or the proposal process. That means that you pick up the phone, say, what do you need? Can I help you? And once you get your foot in the door, you're pretty well set.
Wonderful. So, Mick, you mentioned about the bookkeeping. Okay, I have to be selfish. Is that okay for the next few minutes? I'm like a business coach. The person like me, life coach, business coach, people who help to grow other businesses. So is there any specific need for those kind of things? Because there are like tens of thousands of coaches and speakers who are speaking it all over the world, traveling and enjoying the lifetime. But now the last 12 months, they are stuck at home.
So let's take it on as a business coach, a success coach, a speaker, and then we're going to look at it at the federal level, the state level, and the local level. Okay?
Yeah.
So are you familiar with Jack Canfield?
Yeah, of course, chicken and soup, yeah.
Yeah, right. So Jack Canfield, do you know that Jack Canfield was hired by the Social Security Administration to come in and tell people and explain to people and using the Canfield training method for people who are retiring and leaving Social Security? So if you're like a Canfield trainer or someone who has a success certification, places like the Social Security Administration want you to go to their offices in your hometown and talk to retirees about, prior to them retiring from their jobs, what they should be looking to be successful in the next career, whether that's, full-fledged retirement, getting a part-time job at Home Depot. I mean, they need people who can do that. And that's just one agency. You talk about being a business coach. And I honestly, as the business coach thing, the first thing that people pop into people's mind is there an opportunity that you can work with a small business administration? The answer is yes. But that small business administration role would probably be more volunteer or not necessarily a lucrative paid position, right? But as far as the coaching aspect of that goes, there are like business units within the government that don't necessarily know how to run that business aspect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you go into say like the trade office for the Department of State or the Customs and Border Protection, they're hiring coaches. And, you'll look at some of these opportunities and you say to yourself, well, there's no way that I could do a $30 million contract, just little old me. And that you're probably right. There's no way you're going to be successful, but you can learn how to connect with the person who could do the $30 million contract and be their Atlanta, Georgia guy, or say like, hey, I'll cover, I'll cover Atlanta, I'll cover Northern Florida, I'll take South Carolina on for you. I would love to travel to wherever. And, like there is a hodgepodge of companies that come together to service the contract. And if you like take it as like pretend it is the equivalent of a car dealership or a car, right? We want to buy our Ford or Buick or Lincoln, right? But I'm buying my Lincoln, but I have Goodyear tires on it. It has a Cummins engine in it. I fill it with Sunoco oil and gas. So like, everybody plays a different part and everybody makes money. So, I mean, that's kind of like the other aspect of it. So, but then like, let's take that down a little bit further on the, the business coach side. And I want to get back to that success coach stuff as well and speaking. So you get the business coach side of it. So you're the federal level, they're going to need people to help them, whether it's, and specifically it's at agencies that are expected to do things that don't fall into their wheelhouse. And let me explain. So you don't need to teach business to the people at the Department of Commerce or Treasury, because they tell us what we're going to bank and how we're going to do business, right? But if you're talking to somebody who is historically been a law enforcement officer and they're trying to enforce the law, but they need to take it from a business perspective because that's where the trade office is, that's a way for you to kind of, gain access. And there was a coaching contract out earlier this year that it was estimated I think $18 million for executive coaching, in teaching these principles of business. They don't want to go to the Harvard School of Business, and they don't want to go to Yale. They want to go deal with people who can come in, offer the work. It doesn't have to necessarily be a certificate, but also to introduce the government employee to the mindset that of the small business or medium-sized business owner. And who better to do that than a small or medium-sized business owner? So they can understand what's going on there. So then as we peel back, with this business thing, if you're looking at this at the state level, every single state has multiple economic redevelopment authorities. Yeah. So if you look into your little small town or your hometown, or even like Atlanta, like the Candler Hotel, like that was run down for a long time. Hilton came in and helped revitalize it. But just because you have a nice hotel in a section of downtown Atlanta, you still need someone who's going to open up a bagel shop. You still need someone who's going to run something beyond a Starbucks. You're going to need a dry cleaners. You're going to need things that are going to service the people who are coming to that hotel. And if you're doing that, they need to have someone to teach them. And these economic redevelopment authorities, they understand the importance of business. They understand the importance of making sure that these areas are going to work in their right places, but they also don't have the manpower available. The Economic Redevelopment Authority is really trying to do the financing, not the teaching, education, and awareness that goes behind it. Yeah. So, and then if you just look at your local one, the Chamber of Commerce can only do so much. The local government needs someone to say, hey, come here. This is what business looks like. Does that kind of answer your question there, Mohammed?
Wonderful, wonderful. Mick, I'm very greedy when it comes to knowledge. I'm going to grab maximum from this opportunity and learn it all. How about marketing agencies? There are so many marketing agencies. They are really on cutting edge digital marketing, all stuff. Is the government actually hire these little marketing agencies too?
Absolutely. Yeah. Marketing agencies. Last year, I've helped millions of dollars go to marketing agencies, from the largest to the smallest, win government contracts. My biggest winners were marketing agencies, and it comes through multiple ways, right? So the government has this idea, like if you're a woman-owned business, a minority-owned business, a disabled veteran-owned business, you're in a historically underutilized business zone, like they want to have companies in those areas or with that type of, composite makeup to be able to kind of go after some new business. But those marketing agencies, the thing with the marketing agency though is, if you're talking to a B2C or B2B agency, like, oh, what do you do? I do it all. You can't say that to the government. You have to say, this is what I do. And there's two ways to do that. You focus in on if they're offering a small contract that you yourself can handle, and you say, oh, I'm really good at infographics. I'll do the infographics, and then I'm an infographic for, I'm going to follow this. Or you say to what a prime contractor, somebody who maybe does the entirety of the marketing budget, all $700 million for the U.S. Navy, right? And you say to them, what is your small business set aside? And they'll say, oh, we really could use someone to help us with Facebook ads. Oh, that's my specialty. I can do all these things, but Facebook ads is really what I will focus on. And you know what? And that is fine. And you just learn to position yourself into what the market needs, just like you would do with anything else. But for the government space, less is more.
That's why they deliver less and ask for more taxes on the other side. Okay. So, Mick, okay, we covered the life coaches, C-suite coaches, like executive level coaching, business coaches, and the marketing agencies. How about the public health is a big issue for next, Oh,
public health is so right now. I think there's two major things that we have to kind of focus on in the space. One is definitely public health. And I think that we're going to see public health take a major step to the limelight in the next few weeks, but going on not only for the next few weeks, but also for the next few years. The other issue is going to also be, just overall security. And I think the interesting thing is that security and public health are going to kind of go hand in hand. We can't be secure unless our population is healthy.
Yeah.
And if our population is healthy, we're not really secure. So, I think that's going to be kind of like the two things you're going to see. But public health, security has been on the mind of this country since 9/11.
Yeah.
Public health, it's been 100 years since we had a pandemic. And even though we've heard of pandemics the last few years with Ebola and everything else, it hasn't been really at the forefront. And now I think America finally realizes, oh my goodness, there's a lot more work that we need to do. So I think that if you're in the public health space, be prepared that once this pandemic ends, you have a launch pad, for a very fruitful career. And especially for those who are under 30 in that career space, the world is their oyster, if you want to say, in that space.
You talk about under 30. I have someone under 30 right now with us. And, we're going to take, take that person in a few minutes on the call to see what they're thinking. Because in this COVID situation, the young youth, especially just coming out of the colleges, they say there's no jobs and, all that mindset, not how they can actually integrate their skills right now, what's happening with with the federal spending, government spending, and all.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Absolutely.
If you're graduating from college right now,
yeah,
and you're saying there isn't a job available, and I'm not arguing with that fact that it very well could be the case.
Yeah.
If you're 21, 22, and your parents are gainfully employed with insurance, you have until you're 26 to have that health insurance covered.
Yeah.
So my focus would be, if I'm them, is to start a business. Your health is covered for 4 years, move back in the basement. You can't afford an apartment anyway, go start something. And there's specifically for those in the marketing field, if you're a marketing major right now, either take a commission sales job or, take, and start your business. I mean, and frankly, all you need to do is get your laptop open and get to work. And that's really it's not easy, but it is simple, and I think that that's kind of the thing that a lot of these kids, because I'll tell you right now, nothing against working at a McDonald's or going to your local Publix or something like that. Totally understand it and respect that decision-making process. But if you're looking to do a true business thing, try and start a business. And because I'll tell you something, if you come to me and I said, what have you done since you graduated? And it's oh, I tried to start my own business. I had 2 or 3 clients. This is what it shows me. A, you have initiative, you have entrepreneurial spirit, you know how to service a customer. That's stuff I don't need to train you on. Come on into my larger agency. Love to have you.
Yeah. How about if someone has not done that yet? However, they just want to do an internship or after coming from the college, after graduation.
I think an internship is a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I think you have to make sure you find the right person to be this is my thing. Don't pick the field, pick the boss. So pick the person that you can learn from the most. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be able to be oh, I really understand Facebook ads or branding, but I have no champion to help guide me. And you're better off learning, something, copy or something from somebody else, but have a champion who can help guide you. And I think that's really the most important aspect of it, is that if you can kind of pull that stuff together, you're really well off. And if you're looking to be an intern, there's an app called Acadium. They give you a 90-day internship. So that's something to kind of get your stuff going on if you're a young college graduate. The other thing to do is Handshake is another opportunity that people should have to kind of figure something out as well. That is a great internship opportunity. I think the thing that is lost on a lot of people right now is that the fact that we're virtual, don't think it necessarily plays well. And I don't want to be that older, person, talking trash about the younger generation. I just think that this younger generation is in a difficult position, and recognizing that they've grown up with the screen instead of the personal interaction, and then on top of that, they're in the middle of a pandemic, so there's no personal interaction. So you really kind of have to stay on point, if you will.
Yeah. I have right now with us is Ayla Siddique. She is my only daughter and love of my life, and she is about to come and join you
Excellent.
and ask this question. She already typed in the question. I'm going to bring a question on the screen,
Mhm.
so that way that gives you the time to actually read the question. Ayla, thank you so much. And you have a Mick McKeown.
Hi.
Hey,
Yeah.
how are you?
Good. How are you? It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
As my dad said, I'm a recent graduate with a marketing
Congratulations.
degree. Thank you. And I'm kind of, like you said, I'm trying to find out my first move into the job market. My big question is, what should the first career moves be for someone like me looking to get into the marketing field, given what our long-term goals should be as well?
Sure. I think I like to always start with the end in mind. So right now, you're I'm assuming you're under 30 and you're on your way to go doing great things, but we want to focus in on longer term. Do you think you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you think you would want to own your own agency? I think that's a real question.
Long term, yeah.
Okay. So then short term, then let's kind of take that look then for shorter term then. So long term, you want to own an agency, and this would be marketing. And who would you like to market to?
I would like to market to. I'm really intrigued by you said the next few years public health is going to be in the forefront. I would love to market to something like that where you're actually contributing to making a difference.
Okay.
That's something that I'm interested in.
Yeah. So my background is it's a little bit of a morbid conversation, but when I worked at the Homeland Security, I worked in two fields. I worked on school safety, so I had to deal with the Parkland shooting and the fallout after that. And I was also doing human trafficking work and making sure that people understood the importance of, not only child sex trafficking, but human trafficking in general and commercial labor trafficking. So getting the idea of getting a message that resonates, but also that can kind of crack through the noise, if you will, of people being told what not to do is really important. I think that's a great skill. And if you want to start something in the public health field. Now, where did you go for undergrad?
Georgia State University.
Oh, good school.
Atlanta.
Yeah. So I think being in Atlanta, and do you want to stay in Atlanta?
Long term, I'm open to whatever.
Okay. So let's just going to take a little pause here, because I just want it for those who are kind of at home here. So the first thing I'm asking is, what's our long-term goal? Our long-term goal probably is to have the opportunity. We're not positive yet, but have the opportunity to keep ourselves open to the idea of owning our own agency. And then secondly, we're saying, what's something that we would like to kind of talk to? And you're saying public health, but really what you're telling me is you want to do something that allows you to grow and be part of something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Totally understand that. And then, frankly, you're in Atlanta. That's the home of the Centers for Disease Control. That's ground zero, if you will, for the public health space. So being able to work in a place like that, it gives you great connection. And I think that for other college graduates who might be thinking of something, look where you are and look around you. If you don't want to leave your hometown, that's something that you really got to see what your hometown is known for. Like if you're in Cleveland, Cleveland Clinic. If you're in Philadelphia or Baltimore, you have Johns Hopkins and all the different health services. So health services is going to play a big, big, big role in those things. But if you're in Norfolk, Virginia, that's going to be military. And if you're going to be in San Diego, it's going to be vacation, tourism, plus military. Does that kind of make sense of looking at what industries you have around you? So as you're talking about these different, this interest into the public health, I would look at it twofold. I think common thought process would be to try and find a marketing position within the CDC, right? I would not necessarily go that route for multiple reasons. One, I think government work is great for those who are truly focused on the process of what the government does. And that's great for some people. But if for somebody who might have a spark of entrepreneurial spirit, I would look to service the government. There's plenty of agencies and places out there that you can go into and work on CDC campaigns and work on National Institutes of Health campaigns. And there's plenty of firms that you can kind of go reach out to and connect with and see if that you're a good fit. Some are small businesses. They're just 10, 15 people. And others are, huge, huge conglomerates that have thousands of employees in the space. But like, there's definitely opportunities at the marketing firm. The thing that I would really question is, if you're going to do the entrepreneurial thing, why not start now?
I didn't really, to me, I always thought of it as a long-term thing, a long-term goal. It wasn't something that was at the forefront for me, but you kind of put into perspective that maybe that's something that I should be thinking about now, given that I'm 22, so I'm at a pretty ripe age to do it, and I have some time. So that's definitely something I'm going to be looking into now.
Yeah, I don't know how your entrepreneurial journey has gone, Mohammed, but one of the things that I like to say, that this would be your first business. It very well might not be your last business. So like the first thing I did was, I tried multiple different businesses, and sometimes some are just, for lack of a better term, cash grabs. I sold books on Amazon, just because I needed to have an extra cushion to do my next project. I've started a political consulting firm, and then I realized I really don't feel like dealing with crazy people every day. So like, there's definitely, opportunities, but like, if you were going to look at this and say like, hey, I want to do this, like more of this public health marketing space. Did you have any internships yet as a college graduate?
I did actually last year, and kind of in the public health sphere. It was with, are you familiar with Grady Hospital in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
So they have Grady Health Foundation, and they work with funding patients. No patient inside Grady Hospital goes without having some sort of opportunity to pay. If their insurance or whatever doesn't allow it, Grady will take care of the bill. And so I worked as a marketing intern for them for a few months last year.
Cool. So let's talk about Grady then for like 30 seconds. So Grady has people that are, and partners that are associated with it. And like, for those of you at home who like, I don't know how to find that out, walk inside to Grady Hospital. They have a big wall, I'm sure, of everybody who's donated, of everybody who's a major partner. Take out your cell phone, take a picture, start reaching out, but that would be like my first guess is like, if you're still talking to people at Grady, or you could still talk to people at Grady, you could ask them easily for an introduction. Hey, who are some of the partners, or did you remember any of the partners you worked with when you were the marketing intern?
Yeah, I was working directly with the president of the foundation.
Get on the phone. Like, they might not have an opportunity for you, but he can lead you to another opportunity. One of the biggest things that you can do and take advantage of an internship is get the referral. You should be asking for 5. And, because I mean, like, if like whether or not they paid you or anything else like that, one of the reasons why people, especially a president of a foundation like that, takes on an intern is to help see them grow. And so like, you come back, say, I'm a college graduate, the pandemic has been crazy. Like, just write like a 5-line thing. Dear President, thank you so much for the opportunity. I really have enjoyed a lot of it. As I'm sitting at home waiting for this pandemic to end, all I can think about is the happiness that occurred while I was working at the Grady Foundation. I looked on the website and saw that there doesn't seem to be any opportunities or that fit my needs. However, I was hoping that maybe you could introduce me to 2 or 3 other partners, colleagues, whoever, that can help me lead me to the next step as I'm looking to get an entry-level position. I'll tell you, something like that, people are going to do it. I have people who have reached out to me via Twitter, LinkedIn especially, and you just say hi, and it doesn't really hurt.
That sounds like great advice. I'm definitely going to be taking that into account, Mick. Thank you so much for your expertise on this.
Mm-hmm. Great. Anything else you have?
I don't have any questions, but I'll definitely get your information
Sure.
If I have any questions, I'll definitely ask you there.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayla. Thank you, Mick. I really appreciate it. This is going to help a lot of youth. Mick, this is a great thing back to our own society. We owe it to the young people. I really appreciate it. This was like a hot spotlight right on this part. I wanted to check how Mick, how good are you? And let me give you the statement on you, Mick. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
You are not as good as you think. You are better.
I appreciate that.
Okay. So Mick, let's get back to the business side. So
Sure.
we cover the marketing agencies and we cover the kind of coaching industry. What other industries we want to touch most of them? You probably have a lot more experience, and so that way we can see what other businesses we can bring it, because we want to help as many as business people right now in this, because that's our way of helping them to get out of.
If you're accounting or bookkeeping, that's something to kind of take into mind. If you're a small IT consulting firm looking at data analytics, integration, anything to do with Salesforce, another thing to kind of look into. If you are a producer of some sort of good, whether it's a paper product, anything that's PPE related. So if you do face masks, ventilators, body bags, anything like that, government's super interested. I think one of the things is that the pandemic has shown that the government procurement process has some major gaps and holes. And so I think that this is like the time, like one of those things that I always love. I'm sure you've dealt with this with your clients too. Oh, we're going to look at that at Q3 of next fiscal year. Q3 of next fiscal year, the opportunity very well might not be there. The opportunity is available to you now. This is when they're reviewing everything. This is when people are getting in. This is when relationships are being made. So I think that one of the things is that people don't realize is that you don't need to be reactive to the government. You need to be proactive, and that relationships matter no matter what you do. But back to the business question, I think the other areas of focus that you would want to also think of is any type of management consulting is going to be kind of being a player here. And then if you're in the nonprofit space, whatever your nonprofit does, whether it's, working with art for people to, for physical therapy, whether it's, something like not necessarily the Grady Foundation, but something similar in the sense that it's helping underserved populations. There's opportunities there as well. I'm trying to think what else, it hits. I mean, I think that's
as an example, nonprofit like Boys and Girls Clubs all over US. They are working with,
Oh yeah, I think you can get they're looking for opportunities to put people in, and remember, I think that the thing is that people think that you can only get a government deal via the request for proposal or the contract way, but you can also get it through an earmark. You can also get it through a grant. There's plenty of opportunities. You just got to kind of be proactive in the space and not wait for things to happen to you.
And the next in their mind comes I'm thinking about as just person like me. Oh my God, I have to learn a lot and then kind of wait red tape, and I don't know someone in government. They only give business to people who they already kind of have a relationship and some kind of for long term.
There's definitely a truth to that for sure, but I think if you look at it from a more realistic lens, let's just say you're a marketing agency and you're specializing in real estate agents. So you knock on the first real estate agent's door. You go to Keller Williams and you say, "Hey, I'm offering this product," and they say, "Oh, well, I already have a marketing agency," and then they close the door on you, and then you say, "Oh, okay," and then you go back home, sit on your bed, and take a nap. Or do you go to the next real estate agent, and you're at Wickard or Bob Smith Realtors, and you say, "Oh, hey, we're not really happy," so you got to kind of try it again. I think people just say, "Oh, the government said no to me, it's done," and there's also nothing preventing from you when the government says no to find out where you went wrong. And that's, I think, oh, well, what didn't work? Sometimes I had someone, and I use this example all the time. I had someone who was so upset that they didn't get a contract, and the contract was for infographics.
Okay.
In their request for what they can do, they never listed that they could actually do infographics. They
Nah.
told them everything else they could do,
Yeah.
but not the one thing they were looking for.
Yeah.
And the guy said to me, well, that's just not right. But if you're the contractor, how do you go to your boss and say, this is the best person to go with? They just forgot to tell us that what they can do. Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Now, this is good. So follow what they're looking for, answer that question. Hey, by the way, we also offer this. That's the opposite way. Instead of trying the same bullet
Yep.
point and everything, and you're ignoring the request, you can kind of match it. It's a keyword-based search and criteria scoring, basically. Is that right?
Yeah, so there's for some of these proposals, there's a scoring. And like, you know what? And if you're going after like your hometown company, like your hometown or your county, and they're looking for a project, and you might see people coming from all over, you might get scored higher because you're a resident.
Yeah.
There's opportunities like that. You could get scored higher for multiple reasons. You could get scored higher because the fact that for a federal contract, they haven't dealt with anybody in Iowa yet. Like there's a lot of opportunities, but you want to kind of figure it out in the sense that if you don't put yourself out there and don't ask follow-up, nothing's going to go your way.
Okay, Mick, I'm about to ask you something. Say yes, so I can ask it because I want to protect my confidence.
Yes.
Okay, here is the reason. I will bring these management consultants, marketing agencies, and business owners, the coaches, the life coaches, business coach, all of the above what we just covered, to a webinar where we can go deep dive and actually take their questions live and kind of help them out. Are you okay with this?
Absolutely.
Would you commit to a 90-minute almost time, like a 1 hour, some presentation, and then?
Yeah, I don't think we could do it in under 90 minutes, to be honest. I think it would need to be about 60 minutes of me presenting and then a 30-minute Q&A at least.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's why I'm asking for 90 minutes. So thank you so much. And here is the link. What you want to do is wherever you're watching this video and whenever you're watching this video, doesn't really matter. If you think so, you need to get more money from a stable source, and check clears every time. It's not check in the mail thing. What you need to do is you register on this link, meetsiddique.com/B2G, business to government. Okay, that's the link. And just put your name, email, and phone number. Whenever we have registered a webinar schedule, enough people are interested, and we will announce the date and we will contact you. Only people who register on this link. And again, meetsiddique.com/B2G. Any closing remarks, Mick, you like to share with us? Anyone who is just thinking, not really, I don't want to take this action.
I think that the opportunity right now is not only is it hot, but it's foolish to skip out. You're looking at the biggest purchaser of services in the world, and you happen to reside in this country. Why wouldn't you at least kind of kick the tires and see what you can do? And I think the other thing is that if you're truly looking to build a business and build a future for your family, and you've been in this space for a while, you don't want a Ferrari. You want to build the bricks of the foundation. Well, if you want to build the bricks of the foundation, have 1, 2, maybe 3 government contracts for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And that lets you to build the business, have the steady income, and then go after that Ferrari in a couple of years. That would be my advice. That's what I've been doing, and it's been very, very lucrative and very good. So I think that one of the things that people really need to focus in on is that in this marketplace, the one thing we need to know is that we need to have a diversity of revenue streams in order to survive.
Diversity in the revenue stream. That's the key part. So meetsiddique.com/B2G. Link is there, and go ahead and register it now. Again, we will see you soon on that webinar. And go ahead and share it. Like the video, share it everywhere. Why? Because if you are not interested, do a favor to your friend, tag them, share it, because you can help your friend. What kind of friend you are if you're not even helping your friends? Come on. So Mick Mckeown, thank you so much. Mick, I appreciate the time and looking forward to that webinar. I'm so excited. I have ignored all this my previous life. Okay, but how I don't want to regret not dealing with the government B2G thing. So, I thought many times I would say, oh, no one is going to listen to me, and I don't know anybody, and I don't speak like everybody else, and I don't look like everybody else. All those are like a self-rejection.
That's why you should be going. They're looking for minority-owned businesses. They're looking for people with diversity of thought. They're looking to do inclusion at this point.
Yeah.
So this is the time to strike.
Yeah. So Mick Mckeown, thank you so much. I really appreciate very much on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia, and see you on the webinar. Okay.
Sounds good.
Go ahead and register now.